American Riviera orgasm.
Oh my gosh!
That's what it is. That works, doesn't it?
Hi all, Kinsey Schofield here, and I'm in the UK. We thought it would be fun to have an official tea party.
Welcome to Kinsey's Royal Tea Party, where we serve the hottest royal gossip, extra strong. Today, we're diving into Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's latest attempt at an image overhaul. Some say they're reinventing themselves, while others are screaming, "Get a job and shut up." So what's really going on? Grab your tea because this one's piping hot.
It's a boys' club today. I'm just one of the boys, and I couldn't be more thrilled with that. Thank you so much for being here. I've got Christo Fufas right here,
Hello.
the co-host of Pump Up the Jam, an absolute heathen. He has stalled us for 20 minutes. And then over here I have Kevin O'Sullivan. I love you so much, Kevin. Thank you for doing this. I know that there's like 500 other things you'd rather be doing, so I really appreciate you being here. And then Ryan Mark Parsons, this is our first date.
Yeah,
so thanks
we've never met before.
I know.
You've turned me straight.
And that is why you're here. But a brilliant commentator, culture commentator, and a lover of the British royal family. And I think we all love the British royal family, don't we?
Yes, we do. Of course.
Absolutely. We do. Okay, I know you do.
Why do they get, "Oh my God, I love you, so great to be here. He's kept us waiting for 20 minutes.
That's true.
Because this is the honest
likes
hour.
you.
Oh, the honest hour. Okay, she likes me the least. That's fair enough.
All right, so you guys know I love the United Kingdom. I love to visit you. What's your favorite part of being from the UK?
Okay, well, I love the pageantry. Yes. I love the fact that we've got so many problems in the UK and so many things that we complain about and so many things that we don't like and so many things that we analyse and so many things that are irritating or that people find irritating. However, when the proverbial hits the fan and we need to do a coronation or a funeral or a troop in the colour, we get it together better than any other nation in the world. And we have that pageantry, we have all of that tradition, we have all of it, and no other country can beat us for that.
Well, that's true. I cannot deny that. Kev?
What do I like about Britain? Having lived in your fine country, of course.
He lives in LA.
I can compare and contrast. I like irony.
Yes.
Which you don't get in America. Try making a sarcastic, satirical joke in America. They'll take you at face value. Say things like, "Oh, I love it when babies get killed." Do you? Why?
Well, that was an extreme. We'll fix that in edit.
But I want to put another.
We've gone there.
And the other thing, I'm nicking two things that I like about living in Britain. That's football, proper football, soccer. So for me, that makes it all worthwhile. When I was in the States, I used to miss it terribly and have to get up at like 6 in the morning to go down to Santa Monica to watch football matches, and it doesn't work.
It just wasn't for you, huh?
Yeah, no.
Okay, well, what about you?
See, this is probably going to be quite contentious.
Uh-oh.
But I love British foods, and I don't understand why we've got such a bad reputation for British food. I love a crisp sandwich. I think that's really quintessentially British, no? A chip butty.
From Hollywood to philanthropy, the Sussexes have been on a mission to rebrand themselves as global influencers. But let's be real. Has the world moved on from the royal rebels? Their Netflix deal, the Spotify fallout, and now whispers of a new political angle. Is this a comeback or just another PR scramble?
That's quintessentially British.
Have you got any other examples that don't involve something going between two pieces of bread?
Sausages and mashed potato. Quintessentially British. Absolute. Have you had that yet? Absolute delicacy.
Did I have that?
Sausage and mash.
Sausage and mash with
Did
a
I
bit of
have
gravy.
that?
It's
No.
horrible.
Oh.
Really
It's not horrible. It's not horrible. Fish and chips. We get
Delicious.
slated so much,
I like
but we've got
those.
so many amazing delicacies that I think need to be celebrated more.
I agree
Eels?
with you. I agree with you.
Jellied eel?
Not eel. Not eel.
No?
No.
right.
No. Sausage roll. Have you had the sausage roll?
Was that from Greg's?
Yeah, they do the best sausage rolls. But all of this stuff is life changing. And I think we need a better reputation internationally for our food. And
Okay.
I'm fighting for that here.
Living for your enthusiasm. We will start that change.org petition as soon as we leave the building. So let's jump into some of our topics. We do have Speaking of us versus them, we have 2 big elections coming up.
We do.
But is there enthusiasm for either one of them is really what I want to know. When we've got Joe Biden, I hear a lot of negativity about Keir Starmer, but I also hear that he could potentially win.
Could potentially win. He's going to storm it, definitely. God knows why. He's going to win by default because after, 13 years of Tory rule, it's cyclical. People have had enough. They want to change. And unfortunately, the change we're going to get will be Keir Starmer. But it is interesting, both sides of the Atlantic. In America, and we're saying this about America as well, is that the best they can do? 2 octogenarians, these 2 old dudes, no good, who wants them? Well, you'll find everywhere you go in the world, when you have 2 candidates, 3 candidates for election, the entire nation will say, is this the best we can do? So our choices over here are pretty lousy, and the choices in America are pretty lousy too, but that's the way of the world.
I mean, this is what you do. What are you thinking watching what's going on in the political space right now?
Well, I've been on the campaign trail for, I think over 3 weeks. Every single day since the election's been called, I've been on the doorsteps talking to British voters. And I think it is a travesty that we've got Keir Starmer, who's looking likely to be the next Prime Minister with a supermajority representing the Labour Party that's likely to be bigger than Margaret Thatcher's, right? Someone as iconic as Margaret Thatcher and Tony Blair. So that's why I'm fighting for the Conservative Party to make sure that we get an opposition to scrutinise the Labour Party to make sure Keir Starmer doesn't have a blank cheque to do whatever he likes.
So wait a second, you're fighting for the Conservative Party while you still can?
Yes.
In terms of them actually existing, because after the election, they're probably going to get pulverised into oblivion.
Well, it's looking dire.
Do you know why? Because they're absolutely...
Despite their efforts, public opinion is, well, let's just say not great. Their approval ratings have dipped, and even former fans are calling them out. From victimhood fatigue to Hollywood A-listers distancing themselves. Are people just tired of the Sussex saga?
Useless.
But not as useless as Joe Biden. I saw him at the G7 event, and he was just standing there. Like, what is wrong with this guy? He's your president. He should not be president in that state. I mean, I feel sorry for you guys over there, because if that were my leader, I think I'd be wanting to come here like you.
Yeah,
Feel sorry for us. Feel sorry for the world. This is the most powerful man on the face of the planet, with his finger on the button, and he doesn't even know what day it is, doesn't know when his son was born, can't remember when he was vice president. It's absolutely beyond a joke. It is ridiculous that America is fixing to put this guy in the hot seat for 4 more terrifying years.
Yeah. I mean, do you think Joe Biden will be re-elected? Or is that?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm still thinking about Thatcher. You had me at Thatcher.
Cartoon hearts around his eyes.
Thatcher, because I think you raised a really good point about Thatcher and about actually all of our leaders. We haven't had a politician that cares more about being right than being liked for years, and I think that is a real, real ideologically based politician, a politician that is just based on what they believe rather than opinion polls or flip-flopping or all those things. And I think that our politics has suffered massively as a result of it. I think, Kevin, you're absolutely right. When Labour win, it won't be a vote for Labour, it will be a vote just against what's been happening for the last 13 or 14 years. I think Biden, no one knows, he doesn't know where he is, he doesn't know who he is, he seems to be deeply, deeply unsuitable. I don't love Trump, but I love how much Trump annoys people. I mean, I love the hysteria around Trump, and I find him incredibly entertaining. And I wonder as well, and people don't always agree with me, but when we're looking at our enemies around the world and, all this sort of instability, the fact that Trump is so unhinged, I wonder if that almost makes us a bit safer, because the enemies kind of go, well, we actually have no idea what he'll do because he's completely mad. And so I wonder if in a weird way we're safer. The only thing I will say about Trump, going back to him though, is he shouldn't have walked in front of the Queen, bringing it back to the royals.
Well, that is
he did adore her, but he shouldn't have walked. Don't roll your eyes at me, O'Sullivan.
He didn't see her. I mean,
but he should
we should have been looking for her.
Never stood next to the Queen, when she was alive. She was absolutely miniature.
So sweet and small.
I'm just saying that is the one black mark, well, not just the only one, but that's one of the black marks that can go against the name. I don't know what you would call Sunackism at all.
Well, he'll be remembered as completely useless, utterly pointless, a waste of time, and in the annals of prime ministers may well go down as worse than Liz Truss.
Oh, wow.
At least Liz Truss didn't have long enough to make a catastrophe of the country.
The get a job and shut up movement. This phrase has been making the rounds on social media. Get a job and shut up. But is it fair criticism or just another wave of royal drama? Let's break down why so many people feel this way and whether the Sussexes should take the hint. What's next for Harry and Meghan? So what's next?
Sunak. I think he's a decent guy.
I do too.
I think he's a nice little guy, doesn't know what conservatism is, and he's an absolutely hopeless politician.
Well, I did actually
Hopeless
meet
politician.
on the campaign trail when I was in Milton Keynes. I met Rishi Sunak and I had a 5-minute chat with him. And out of all of the politicians I've met, I think he's actually the most personable politician.
Right guy,
he actually seems like he is listening to you. But I think, unfortunately, most people are going to remember him for not having Sky TV when he was younger.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
no,
the
I
kind
know.
of-
That's the kind of
advising
legacy
him
he's going to leave.
and leaving the commemorations early was
Ooh,
so misjudged.
that was bad.
But at least Truss, I mean, Truss was only in for a few weeks, but you knew what
44 days, wasn't it?
Trussism was. I mean, she at least had a plan and you knew what she stood for. She went to the destination in the wrong way, but the destination was correct and you knew what she stood for.
Yeah, but the
We haven't had that
lettuce
for ages.
outlasted Liz Truss. I think that's going to be her greatest memory. An actual lettuce lasted longer than Liz
Yeah.
Truss.
Speaking
Which
of
says
lettuce,
everything.
there's lettuce in our sandwiches.
Oh, should we go?
Oh.
Are we going to crack into this?
no, I just...
And these, I think
I don't know
Why?
if these
Is
are
this
props.
allowed to eat them?
Are
Is this
these
like
props?
food?
Are we
Are they
allowed to eat
purely a
them?
prop? I'm
I
starving.
don't
Can I
know.
try it? I'll try
I'm
the
going
egg.
to eat one.
While you eat them, I want to know who your
Baked on
dream
tart.
royal dinner party guests are. I think that mine is obviously Princess Diana. Oh my gosh, she's got stories.
Oh, sorry, I'm actually eating now.
Yeah, you are. Go to town.
town.
I think I would want Prince William, just so I could stare at him lovingly, and then his wife, just to make sure that
That there was no inappropriate behaviour on your
just
behalf.
to make sure that no one
towards him.
accused me of anything.
So it might,
So
so it might still happen. You just don't want to be accused of it.
No, well, I'm just saying that just so all of my bases are clear. But I also love his wife. I love the Princess of Wales. But also, there are so many good royals.
Yeah.
I'd have Meghan there.
Really?
I'd have Meghan at a dinner party. I'd want to see how she operates. I'd want to be fascinated by it. And you know that if Meghan was there, we'd all be arriving by private jet. We would all have blacked out Range Rovers from the private airfield. You know that you would have Cristal champagne and the best there. Otherwise, you know that she would be referred to as Duchess. You know it
have her
would be
jam.
high end. We'd have a jam and we'd have a biscuit for the dog. So, that...
But she'd be talking about herself the whole time. The whole conversation would just be about her. I mean, is that the kind of person you want at a
Her
dinner
soap
party?
story.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
How
I'd
soporific.
have her there, but I wouldn't just have her. Can I have Margaret Thatcher? I know she's not royal, but she thought she was by the end.
She's political royalty.
Yeah, I want Thatcher as well. I put Thatcher next to Meghan. see how that would get along.
Put Thatcher next to Meghan now.
Yeah.
Yeah, put Maggie's skeleton there.
Oh my God.
See how that goes. Yeah, that'd be quite a good dinner party, wouldn't it? Maggie, you haven't been eating. You need to eat something.
You can fit into those tiny skirts now.
Here's a dog biscuit.
Yeah.
Could Meghan make a political move? Is Harry trying to repair royal ties? Or are we looking at another tell-all Netflix special? Whatever happens, one thing is certain. The world is watching.
Yeah, so I'll have those two. And Queen Elizabeth and probably Prince Philip as well. Put Prince Philip next to
So
me.
you're having the entire royal family?
Yeah, that's pretty
Haven't got any
bold.
left.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
not Margaret and the Fergie and Diana. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
I'd probably have
Who would you have?
King Henry VIII. I'll go back a bit. I'd find out why he was so angry. What actually happened to his wives? I'd be so intrigued. I think that would.
I think they lost their heads.
Yeah.
Well, some of them did. Yeah, but why was he so furious? And why was
Because he couldn't
so...
divorce them.
I think he'd just be a really fun guest, as well as the Queen. I think I never got to meet the Queen. I went to the Lying in State twice.
Oh.
Obviously, she was dead.
Was Philip Schofield next to you?
No, I didn't see him.
Okay.
No, but
He was ahead.
apparently
He was way
he
ahead.
skipped the queue, right?
You saw a glimpse of him as he
Yeah,
walked
zooming
past.
past with Holly Willoughby. But yeah, I would definitely have the Queen there. I mean, I was gutted I never got to meet her when she was alive. But, it's kind of the same, isn't it? In a
I
coffin.
met her.
You did? Tell us. I didn't know you've met Queen
I
Elizabeth.
spoke to her for 8 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
I must have told you that story
No,
before.
no, I haven't
I
heard
was
this.
at the
Tell me.
Royal Variety performance
Okay.
quite a few years ago. I'll tell you, this dates it. It was when the cast, you're like this, Krista, it was when the cast of Dallas were there
Oh.
for Who Shot JR.
Sorry, we're swapping places.
Yeah, so it was Larry Hagman, Linda Gray, Patrick Duffy, the whole gang were there. So what happened? She was desperate to get out, but Prince Philip was much more chatty. So she zoomed around this food. She goes, yeah, good to see you, we're out of here. She gets to the end of the line and turns round, and Philip is, I'm not kidding you, he's about 20 people back.
No.
And so she goes, ew. So she sort of stood there and turned around and said, did you enjoy the show? And I said, yes, ma'am, did you? Yes. Went on rather long. I said, it always does, every year. She said to me, I'm always rather jealous of all those West End performers that get the night off, because, you know, they close all the other plays down. And I said, yeah, we don't get the night off, do we? No, we don't, do we? And so on and so forth. So we're chatting. And she said, which paper do you work for? I said, The Sun. She went, yeah. And so on and so. Anyway, it went on. There's a guy from the Daily Mail, God rest his soul, a guy called Pat Hill. So he's realising that. So after about 4 minutes, the only thing I'm thinking is, I'm talking to the Queen. It's the only thing that's going through my head. And this guy's kicking me in the side of the leg. And anyway, it goes on and on and on. I think we're talking about the weather by the time Philip finally turns up.
Final tea takeaway. So will Harry and Meghan's rebrand work, or is it time to get a job and shut up? Let me know what you think in the comments. And hey, if you enjoyed today's royal tea, make sure you're subscribed so you never miss a sip. Until next time, stay shady, stay sassy, and keep the kettle boiling.